Hi, welcome back to Car Chrono. So listen, I've been wrenching on cars for about 18 years now, and let me tell you something. The number of automatic transmissions I've seen completely destroyed because of simple bad habits is insane. We're talking thousands of dollars in repairs that could have been avoided if people just knew better. Today I'm going to share with you the habits that are secretly killing your automatic transmission. And I'm not talking about obvious stuff like racing or towing too much weight. I'm talking about everyday things you probably do without even thinking about it, things that seem totally harmless but are slowly destroying your car. If you're driving an automatic, and let's face it, most of us are, you need to watch this whole video. Trust me, what I'm about to tell you could save you from a $4,000 transmission rebuild. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive right in. Habit number 1. Shifting before you stop. Alright, first one. How many of you shift from drive to reverse or reverse to drive while the car is still rolling? Be honest, I see people do this every single day in parking lots. They're backing up, car still moving backward, and boom, they slam it into drive. Here's what's happening inside your transmission when you do that. Your transmission has these things called clutch packs and planetary gears. When you shift while moving, you're forcing these parts to suddenly change direction while they're still spinning. It's like trying to change the direction of a spinning top. Something's gotta give. I had this customer last year, nice lady, drove a Honda CR-V. She came in complaining about a grinding noise when shifting. Turns out she'd been shifting from reverse to drive while still rolling backward every single day for 2 years. Her clutch packs were completely fried. The transmission needed a full rebuild. $3,800. And you know what she said to me? I had no idea that was bad. I've been doing it my whole life. That's the problem right there. Nobody teaches you this stuff when you learn to drive. The fix. Always, and I mean always, come to a complete stop before shifting. Count to 1 Mississippi if you have to. Just make sure those wheels have stopped spinning before you change gears. Your transmission will last twice as long, I guarantee it. Habit number 2. Keeping your foot on the brake at lights. Number 2, and this one's gonna surprise you, keeping your foot on the brake pedal at long red lights. Now I know what you're thinking, what else am I supposed to do? Well, hear me out. When you're sitting at a red light with your foot on the brake and the car in drive, your transmission is still engaged. The engine is trying to push the car forward, but the brakes are holding it back. It's like a constant tug of war happening inside your car. Your torque converter, which is basically the clutch in an automatic transmission, is working overtime. It's generating heat, it's wearing down, and all that stress is being transferred to your transmission fluid. Over time, that fluid breaks down faster and stops doing its job properly. I rebuilt a transmission last month on a Nissan Altima. Guy did a lot of city driving, lots of stop-and-go traffic. He'd sit at red lights for 2-3 minutes at a time, foot on the brake, car and drive. After 80,000 miles, his transmission was slipping like crazy. Fluid was burnt black. Should have lasted at least 150,000 miles easy. The fix. If you're going to be stopped for more than 30 seconds, shift into neutral and put the parking brake on. Seriously. Your transmission gets a brake, your brake pads get a brake, and you're saving wear and tear. Or even better, shift into park if it's a really long light. Takes 2 seconds and saves you thousands. Habit number 3, downshifting to slow down. Habit number 3 is manually downshifting your automatic to slow down instead of using your brakes. Now, some of you have automatics with a manual mode or those plus-minus shifters on the side, and I see people using them to engine brake coming down hills or slowing down for lights. Look, I get it. Manual guys do this all the time and it works great, but automatic transmissions aren't built the same way. When you force a downshift in an automatic, especially at higher speeds, you're creating a massive shock load on the transmission bands and clutches. Your automatic transmission has a computer that's programmed to shift at specific speeds and loads. When you override that and force it to downshift, you're asking it to do something it wasn't designed for. The fluid pressure spikes, components get stressed, and things wear out faster. I had a guy bring in a Ford Explorer with a 10-speed automatic. Beautiful truck, only 50,000 miles. He loved using the manual mode to downshift, coming down this big hill near his house. Did it every single day for 3 years. His transmission started slipping in 5th and 6th gear. Why? Those clutch packs were toast from all the stress. Now, don't get me wrong, using your transmission to help slow down on really steep mountain grades, that's fine, that's what it's designed for. But using it as your primary braking method in normal driving? That's gonna cost you. The fix: use your brakes to slow down. That's what they're there for. Brake pads cost $150 to replace. A transmission costs $4,000. Do the math. Save the manual shifting for when you actually need it, like steep mountain descents or slippery conditions. Habit number 4: skipping transmission fluid changes. Alright, number 4. And this is a big one, folks. Skipping transmission fluid changes because someone told you it's lifetime fluid or you don't need to change it. Let me be real with you. There is no such thing as lifetime transmission fluid. I don't care what your owner's manual says, transmission fluid breaks down. It gets contaminated with metal particles from the gears grinding together. It loses its ability to lubricate and cool, and when that happens, your transmission starts eating itself alive. I see this all the time. People come in with 100,000 miles, never change the transmission fluid, and they're shocked when I show them what's in their pan. It looks like chocolate milk with metal shavings in it. At that point, sometimes it's too late to even change it because fresh fluid will actually dislodge all the built-up crud and cause more problems. Had a customer with a Toyota Camry last year. Great cars, but even Toyotas need maintenance. She had 120,000 miles, never touched the transmission fluid. Started getting harsh shifts and slipping. Took the pan off and the fluid was black as oil. Magnets in the pan looked like they had steel wool stuck to them. Transmission was done. $3,200 for a rebuild. The fix: change your transmission fluid every 50,000 miles. I don't care what anyone says. Every 50,000 miles, drop the pan, change the filter, put in fresh fluid. It costs maybe $250 to $300. That's cheap insurance against a multi-thousand-dollar transmission replacement. Habit number 5: rocking your car when stuck. Number 5 is rocking your car back and forth when you're stuck in snow or mud. You know what I'm talking about. You're stuck, so you go forward a bit, then reverse, then forward, then reverse, trying to build momentum to get unstuck. Every time you do that quick shift from drive to reverse, you're slamming the transmission. Those clutch packs and bands are getting hammered with every shift, and you're doing it over and over and over. It's one of the fastest ways to destroy a transmission outside of actually racing. The heat buildup is insane, too. All that shifting creates friction, friction creates heat, and heat kills transmissions. I've seen people completely trash their transmission in 10 minutes of rocking back and forth. Just 2 months ago, guy brought in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, got stuck in his driveway during a snowstorm, spent 20 minutes rocking it back and forth trying to get free. By the time he got unstuck, transmission was slipping in every gear, burnt the clutches completely. $4,500 repair for a 20-minute mistake. The fix: if you're stuck, stop. Don't rock the car. Call a tow truck or get someone to push you. Yeah, it's embarrassing and it costs $100 for a tow. But that's a lot better than a $4,000 transmission rebuild. If you absolutely have to rock it, do it gently and wait a few seconds between shifts. Give the transmission time to engage properly. Habit number 6: towing without proper setup. Number 6 is towing or hauling heavy loads without checking your transmission cooler. Most people don't even know their transmission has a cooler. But it does, and it's super important, especially when you're working the transmission hard. Your transmission generates a ton of heat when towing. That heat needs to go somewhere or the fluid breaks down and components fail. The transmission cooler is basically a small radiator that cools the fluid. But if it's clogged or damaged, it can't do its job. I see a lot of trucks come in with transmission problems after towing. Guy's got a F-150, hooks up a trailer, heads out on vacation. Transmission temperature spikes, but he doesn't notice because most cars don't even have a transmission temp gauge. By the time he gets where he's going, damage is done. Had a customer towing a camper last summer, never had the transmission cooler checked. Turns out it was half clogged with debris. Transmission overheated on a long grade in Arizona. Fluid burnt up, seals failed, whole transmission needed to be rebuilt, $5,200, and his vacation was ruined. The fix: if you tow regularly, have your transmission cooler inspected and cleaned every year. Consider upgrading to a bigger aftermarket cooler if you tow heavy. And install a transmission temp gauge so you actually know if things are getting hot. Most importantly, know your vehicle's towing capacity and don't exceed it. Just because you can hook it up doesn't mean you should tow it. Habit number 7, ignoring small problems. Lucky number 7. Ignoring small transmission problems and hoping they go away. Spoiler alert, they never go away. They only get worse and more expensive. Your transmission talks to you. A slight delay when shifting? That's it talking. A little shudder at certain speeds? That's it begging for help. A small leak leaving spots on your driveway? That's it screaming at you. And what do most people do? Nothing. They ignore it. I cannot tell you how many times someone comes in with a completely destroyed transmission and I ask them, when did this start? And they say, oh, it's been shifting funny for about 6 months, but I thought it would be fine. Man, if you catch transmission problems early, a lot of times we can fix them cheap. Maybe it's just a sensor, maybe it's a solenoid, could be $200, $300. But if you wait until the transmission is slipping and won't go into gear, now we're talking rebuild or replacement. $3,000 to $6,000. The fix: pay attention to your car. If something feels different, get it checked out. Weird noises, different shift feeling, delays, anything unusual, bring it in immediately. Early diagnosis saves you massive amounts of money. Don't be the person who turns a $300 fix into a $4,000 disaster. Habit number 8, using wrong transmission fluid. Number 8, using the wrong transmission fluid or mixing different types. This one kills me because it's so easy to avoid, but people do it all the time. Modern automatic transmissions are super specific about what fluid they need. Your owner's manual will tell you exactly what type. Could be Dexron, could be Mercon, could be a manufacturer-specific fluid like Honda ATF or Toyota WS. These fluids have different additives, different viscosities, different properties. When you use the wrong fluid or mix different types, bad things happen. The fluid might not provide proper lubrication, it might not handle heat correctly. The additives might react with each other and create sludge. Your transmission's hydraulic system relies on specific fluid properties, and when those are wrong, shifts get harsh, things slip, damage occurs. I've seen people destroy a transmission in 10,000 miles just from using the wrong fluid. Had a Mazda come in last year, previous owner had put generic transmission fluid in it instead of the Mazda-specific stuff. Transmission was shifting rough and slipping. Fluid had turned into this weird foamy mess. Complete rebuild needed. The fix: always use exactly what the manufacturer recommends. Don't cheap out and buy whatever's on sale. If your car needs a specific fluid, use that specific fluid. And if you're not sure, ask a professional. Spending an extra $20 on the right fluid is way better than spending $4,000 on a new transmission. Habit number 9, driving with transmission leaks. Number 9 is continuing to drive with a transmission leak. I see this constantly. People notice a red or brown puddle under their car, know it's transmission fluid, and just keep topping it off and driving. Here's the thing about transmission leaks: they start small, but they get bigger, and while you're leaking fluid, you're running low on fluid. Low fluid means not enough pressure, not enough lubrication, not enough cooling. Your transmission is being starved and damaged every time you drive. Plus, where's that fluid going? It's dripping onto hot exhaust components. It's getting on your driveway. It's bad for the environment. And in some states, you can actually fail inspection for a significant fluid leak. The real problem is that people wait too long. They keep adding fluid until one day the transmission completely fails. Now, instead of fixing a $200 seal or gasket, they need a $4,000 transmission. I had a lady driving a Honda Odyssey with a leaking axle seal. Small leak, only losing a little bit of fluid. I told her we need to fix it now. She said she'd do it next month. 3 months later, she's back. Transmission won't move the car. Ran so low on fluid that it burnt up the clutches. If she'd spent $300 when I first told her, she wouldn't have needed to spend $3,800 later. The fix: if you see transmission fluid leaking, get it fixed immediately. Don't wait, don't keep topping it off, just get it fixed. Seals and gaskets are cheap, transmissions are not. Habit number 10, revving in neutral or park. And finally, number 10, revving your engine while in park or neutral. I see young guys do this all the time. They think they're warming up the car or they just like the sound. But it's terrible for your transmission. When you rev the engine in park or neutral, the transmission is disengaged, but the torque converter is still spinning and creating pressure. Without the load of actually moving the car, all that energy just turns into heat. You're cooking your transmission fluid for no reason. And here's the worst part. Some people rev it high, then slam it into gear while the engine's still revving. That creates a massive shock that can blow out seals, damage clutches, and even break hard parts. It's just about the dumbest thing you can do to an automatic transmission. I rebuilt a transmission on a Mustang GT last month. Kid bought it used, loved the sound of the V8. Every time he started it, he'd rev it to 4,000 revolutions per minute, then drop it into drive. Did this for 6 months. Transmission lasted 15,000 miles before it started slipping. Should have lasted 150,000 easy. The fix: don't rev your engine unnecessarily, period. If you need to warm up the car, let it idle in park for a minute. That's it. And never, ever rev the engine, then immediately shift into gear. If you do that, you're basically asking for a transmission replacement. Conclusion. Alright folks, there you have it. 10 habits that are destroying your automatic transmission and costing you thousands. Look, transmissions are expensive and complicated. But taking care of them isn't rocket science. Stop doing these things and your transmission will last the life of your car. Remember, small changes in how you drive can save you massive amounts of money. Come to a complete stop before shifting. Shift into neutral at long lights. Don't downshift to brake. Change your fluid every 50,000 miles. Don't rock the car when stuck. Check your cooler if you tow. Fix problems early. Use the right fluid. Fix leaks immediately. And stop revving in neutral. Do these things and I promise your transmission will outlast everything else on your car. If this video helped you, smash that like button and subscribe to Car Chrono. We're here every week with real advice from a real mechanic. Drop a comment and let me know which habit you've been guilty of. We've all done at least one of these. Until next time, take care of your car and it'll take care of you. Peace out. Bye.